chose España y Filipinas, which is this painting here, as my takeoff point. I love the painting, and when I started painting, one of my first pieces was of a little boy and girl, like this, but with their backs turned also to the viewer, pointing at the flying balloon. So I really like this kind of imagery. What I'm gonna do is tell the story of history from here to the present time. So fashion is very prominent in my mind right now because my eldest daughter does jewelry. Okay, so what's gonna happen is I'm collaborating with Wizer, who's also doing fashion-related stuff, handbags, clothes, etc., made of waste materials like plastic bags, etc. So basically, this painting will come alive. So the two will come in, España y Filipinas, in antique costumes. The path will be made out of fabric and maybe embroidery and crochet flowers made by the Invisible Sisters. So they walk on that path and then they climb some kind of stairway. So up there, it's similar to this painting. And then somehow, I'm still figuring out how, they will put makeup on each other, and the story moves to the 80s, the 70s, the 80s, the 90s, where the makeup is getting thicker and thicker, and the Barbie phenomenon is prominent in our minds. So one or both of them will end up as Barbie dolls, really tall, with bright pink, bright other colors, emerald green, flowers and all. So we see the Western world, España, and the Philippines, and in fact the whole world, wanting to become like Barbie dolls. So at a certain point, I make this statement about plastics. People are becoming plastic. Fashion is becoming synthetic. Everything is becoming artificial. So what happens is there's some symbol there of plastic monsters, whatever. And then after this, I weave the story into Wizer's work, which is the plastics, which are trash, are used to make lacy materials. So then, I don't know yet if the Barbies take off their clothes and now put on the lacy materials made of plastic. But this is an example of a possibility for the future. This is a very positive approach on Wizer's part, to use trash, to recycle it, and to make it into something wearable, something beautiful, and something inexpensive. So it will be high fashion, but it won't be expensive. And we're helping to clean up the mess, and we're helping to make the people, the poor women who make these clothes and bags, earn money. So that's the present into the future. So it's a story from this period to the present. That's it.
Wow. Okay, so maybe we can talk more on the collaboration with your daughters. Michelle is doing the jewelry.
Yes.
And then your other daughter is...
Well, Maxine is a poet and a visual artist as well. And she's also a fashion model. So, dressing up as a Barbie is something that that she understands. And Trix, on the other hand, Beatrix, is a poet also and a performance artist. And she's also a professional makeup artist. So she'll be putting the Barbie makeup live. So people can actually witness the transformation from this period, then to the Barbie period, and then to the plastic recycle period, which is now into the future. There, and I'm planning to use an image from my husband's poetry, one-liner poetry. He fuses visual imagery with literature. So there's a really glamorous Barbie image, and it says Chanel according to Mattel. There, so it's the humor and the wit, no, which makes the work a very different kind of criticism. So that image will be flashed, I guess, behind the Barbies when they're all dressed up. So this is actually a fusion of painting, installation art, performance, literature, and the music aspect. I haven't yet figured out if we're going to get live performers to collaborate. It will be an improvisational work, which we've done many times before in our Electric Underground Collective events. It should be a very exciting fusion of all these different mediums.
It sounds really interesting.
Yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited to do it. And the thing is, everything fell into place. Like when I first saw those flowers, and for our first meeting, and I knew that Anne was going to be in the show, I thought right away, Anne's embroidered doilies would go well with a floor piece. And after the whole performance, what we will do is to make a summarized version of the performance ending. That installation piece will be on display for a week at Rockwell, and then later on at Lopez Museum. Together with art photographs taken during the actual performance. So then photography also comes into the picture.
So it's very multimedia.
Yes, yes. And most of all, it will be work that's fun.
Yeah, and plus you're joining with your daughters, and also
yes,
you're getting...
Yes, because, well, I'm even drawing from my husband's poetry, because as a mother and as a wife, I cannot help it. I get inspiration from my children, from my home, from my pets, from my husband, from my friends like Anne. Anne was my principal collaborator at the CCP, the Puting Uwak, a long time ago, 1992.